It is Michael White.
And ANTHEA MORPHITIS. Nice to
We're
see you
here.
guys.
Wow, we're really excited to see you guys. As I said, the topics that we have are banging topics. And I'm always going to say this. We're not here to change the space. We're here to add value to the space. And you also guys got to understand. I know a lot of people will be like, well, you guys aren't dating anybody. You don't know what it's like to trust me, guys. I'm not here to brag, but I've been in a lot of different situations, dated, and that's the thing. You need to understand that somebody that's not in a relationship, that's teaching relationships, they can tell you what not to do.
Yeah, for
They can
sure,
tell you
Michael.
what didn't work for them. That's the
Yeah,
point. Like
yeah.
the point of it is to give you experience, so where they fell, you don't have to fall.
And the bigger picture of that is that if we're having those experiences, and we've had those experiences, it's very likely that most people have experienced more or less the same thing. And so then when we speak about things that didn't work, a lot of people can relate because they know it doesn't work that way, because there is certain ways that makes a relationship become successful. And we've learned what not to do, and we've learned what to do too. So it goes both
Exactly.
ways, and we've been able to implement what works into our business relationships, into our friendships, into other relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, because the basis, the values of everything is the same, right?
Exactly, like today's topic. But you're frozen, but there you go, you unfroze. Like today's topic. Today's topic is allowing the man to take the lead. Now, before we get started, we're gonna play our promo video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? We hate asking, but guys, it's free. It doesn't take too much of your time and energy or resources. It's just one little boop, and
And done.
literally to say I rock with this message. So we're gonna get into today's message, and let me just play the promo video, guys, and we will talk about today's topic. So today's lovely topic is allowing a man to take the lead in the relationship. Now,
Boom.
again, this is going to be one of those topics where it's so controversial. Some people are going to be in their feelings. Some women are going to say, "Oh, I love it when a man leads." Some men are going to be like, "I like it when the woman leads." Some people are going to be like, gender roles are trash. All
Everyone's
different
got
types of
their own
opinions.
opinion, hey?
But again, we need to look at, and this is where you need to put aside ego and feelings. What do the majority want?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to understand. And I understand, because you're going to look at it, or most people look at it, from a feeling perspective. Oh, but my feelings. Feelings don't dictate reality.
And also how we're wired to be as humans, as male and female. We're wired differently. So you can't, that's a fact. It's not
It
a
is.
belief. It's not a something that we're just making up. It's a fact. Men and
It
women
is.
think different. So yeah, you can't really fight what is and what is,
No, well, it's
you
like you might feel, I feel marriage is amazing. Yes, marriage is amazing. We would never on this podcast say that marriage is not a beautiful thing. But the statistics show that 70% of marriages fail.
but why?
And 60% of it is the woman leaving. So when you're like, I don't feel that way, oh my God. It doesn't matter how you feel. The statistics are there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You
just the
can't
reason why you
mess
don't
with
like the
facts.
exactly. The reason why you don't like the statistics is because it doesn't match up with your feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think this is what it's all about, isn't it? It comes back down to looking at yourself, to be able to recognize in yourself how you're seeing things. And so you hear so many people say, all the good ones are taken. I mean, that is, I mean, how can you even say that? Is that a fact? It's not a
No,
fact.
it's not.
It's not a fact. That's a belief. You believe that all the good ones are taken. Therefore, when you don't find somebody, it's not because there's no good ones or the
It's
right one's
because
not there.
you kept choosing all the bad ones.
You
That's
kept choosing
why.
all the bad ones, yeah, and you keep entertaining the bad ones and then say the good ones are taken. No, you're not entertaining the good ones. Start entertaining the ones that are good for you, and then you'll have a good relationship. But until you do that, then stop blaming other people for your relationship. So many people put the blame finger out to say it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault, but actually it's no one other's fault other than yourself, because only you are control of yourself.
Well,
You
it's
and
because people are overly picky. Let's be
yeah,
honest about it, right? You'll
yeah,
meet like the perfect guy or girl, and you'll find like that what like everything else is perfect, but you'll find like that one
one
thing that's
thing.
wrong, and
Yeah,
then based off of that one thing, oh, I can't date them, I can't be with them, whatever, and
yeah,
you've already excluded them. That one
yeah,
thing, just that
yeah,
one,
yeah.
and it's
It's so
like,
common out there. It's crazy.
and it's
But it's
more of a
like,
sense of it's more of
no,
a
go
sense
on.
of understanding. It was it a super big deal breaker?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because no, the thing is, I think so many people are programmed to actually, no one's taught as kids, you're not in school and they teach you how to have a great relationship, not with
Mm-mm.
just other people, with yourself. Like, first and foremost, can you have a good relationship with you? Because if that relationship with yourself is quite toxic within yourself, and you're constantly putting yourself down, or you're constantly like setting yourself up for failure without even realizing. But if you look at your life, you can understand what is that self-talk. Now, if you're talking to yourself in that certain way and you're not honoring what you want in your world, then finding a person to honor that for you is not going to happen, because you're not doing it for yourself. So you're going to keep entertaining the wrong people because you're entertaining the wrong part of yourself too, right?
I would agree. And I know that we still have to talk about that actually on the podcast about having a relationship with self.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. It's also understanding that in a relationship, you're responsible for your happiness and they're responsible for theirs.
Yeah.
You can't come in a relationship and be like, well, no, you're responsible for my happiness now.
It's like, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
work
work that
like
way.
that. But people, that's what people expect. You don't make me happy. Well, I'm not supposed to make you happy. You're
No,
supposed to make yourself happy, and I'm supposed to enhance your happiness. I don't make
no.
you happy. I can help you feel good. There's things that we can help and enhance, but the main point of it is down to us. We need to take responsibility for self. Um,
Well,
and
anytime somebody says like you don't make me happy, I just tell them this. What more do you want? Because literally, even when you look at it from a let's look at like back in the day. Let's look at Spartan times, let's look at warrior, let's look at back in the day. It wasn't about happiness. You married someone, let's say a guy married a girl because he fancied her, she was pretty, she was, good enough to have his children or whatever, and then he provided for her and she took care of the household. That was it. It wasn't like you're not making me happy. Now I know some people are going to jump in and say, well, we're not living back then right now and we live in 2022. It's not working. With what we're doing today is not working. If the
no, because
marriage rate is divorce rate is up 70%, we're doing something wrong.
yeah, and
Acknowledge the shortcomings.
yeah, and I really think it comes down to today's subject. There's not a gender role going on anymore. It's merged. The woman wants to be the man, the man wants to be the woman. It's like, I think everyone's confused. I just like, a man's a man. He thinks a certain way. He's wired to be a certain way, and a woman's a woman. She thinks a certain way, is wired to be a certain way. So a woman carries a human being in her body. She's not going to have the same uh, the emotional intelligence can be completely to a male, because she nurtures, her body naturally grows a human within it, and then when she gives birth, she has to nurture that child. She has hips for a reason. There's ways that she does things. A man doesn't have to think about things like that, and it's not wired to be that way. His thing is, right, there's children, or there's a woman, I need to go out there and I need to make sure I provide and give the best. But now it's like a woman comes along and says, no, I want to do that too.
Yeah. So that's why we're going to get into today's topic. We're going to let this lovely lady speak. It's not too much of a long video, guys. 7 minutes. We're going to get into it. We're going to break down her points, and hopefully you guys can join us on the journey.
Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing how to let a man lead the relationship. So if you are someone who identifies with the feminine energy and you want to attract a masculine person, someone who is ready to lead and take charge and doesn't see it as a chore, then this video is for you. First off, a man who is truly masculine actually wants to take charge. They want to be the one initiating. They want to be the one asking you out on a date. So this isn't something that you can just mold a man to become. They are either the types to be masculine and to want to take the lead and to take care and to provide, or they don't. So if this person really isn't showing any of the signs that they want to lead, that they want to initiate, that they want to take you out and treat you, then this man is just not really embodying the masculine energy to begin with. So as a woman, you have to actually be vulnerable and ready to love. Men can really sense a woman who is wounded, who has her guard up, who has walls up, who has been hurt and hasn't really healed and recovered yet. You need to be a woman who is open to love, who is ready to receive, right? Because a lot of times women can be heartbroken and they can be going through so many emotions, and perhaps they run into someone when they're out at the grocery store or out at dinner, but they really aren't giving off the energy that they are open and available and actually ready to.
I love what she said there. I'm gonna touch on some things. Number one, ladies, you need to understand, as men, we cannot keep up with your emotions. It's like you guys are the roadrunner and we're Wile E. Coyote. We're not going to catch your emotions. We're just not. We can understand them, but we're never going to be able to keep up. So a lot of times, and Anthea can, maybe attest to this, is when a woman's like, you don't understand me or you don't care or whatever. And it's like, what? How am I supposed to catch up with all this? So I'd love your thoughts on that, Anthea.
Well, yeah, because again, it's like we're wired differently, aren't we? So we can't expect a man to understand our full emotions because they don't function like that. Men function differently to us. They're not emotional based. Like they are very black and white, and they just they're very solution orientated rather than the problem. Where a woman will go into the problem and she will emotionally attach herself with that problem and then blame the guy for feeling that way, when actually it's about, like she said, you've got to be open and ready to receive and have that come to you and balance out that emotional side and not be asking the man to be understanding continuously, because it's not the same thing. It's completely, men don't think like that, and we just got to accept that, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, right? Like it's not that he won't listen, it's not that he won't be compassionate, it's not that he won't be caring, but for you to ask him to constantly keep up with your emotions, it's exhausting for him because your emotions are changing all the time.
Oh yeah, oh goodness, yes.
Men
Women's
are
emotions,
rooted. Yeah,
yes,
men are rooted. That's the
yeah.
difference, right? We're rooted in something, as Anthea said, black, white, we're rooted in things. Women, and it's not a negative thing, and I always
No.
want to say that it's not negative. We're not here to bash women, we're not here to
Mm-mm.
bash men, we're here to bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's understanding that you can't ask a man to keep up with the emotions that you go through like clockwork.
Mm-hmm. But it's like a man expecting a woman to do how he does and be that
No,
physical side of things. It's not
no.
going to work. I mean, it can work to a certain degree. If there's certain projects you're both working on, let's say you buy a house and you want to do it up, and both of you are physically working and stripping down the walls and whatnot. In that physical work, you're working as a team. But in general, for the man to take the lead, the woman has to take a step back somewhere. Even if you're doing up a house, she's going to do, maybe she wants to do the interior side and the man wants to do the knocking down of the bricks. And a woman doesn't mean the woman can't help within that, but she's gonna. And the thing is, it's funny because like there's certain things with guys that they've got the strength to knock down and go and go and go, and they've got that. Their muscles are built different to us, where a woman can come along and do some knocking down the walls, but not to the extent that a man. I'm not saying this with everybody, and this isn't like this, not every woman's like that, because some women can keep up with men, but really, isn't it nicer to have the feminine side and not have to do that kind of things, and allow the man to be a man and do the hard work, in that sense, the physical work, right?
Well, yeah, because the way you guys are not understanding is, okay, let's say there's like a tunnel, and let's say you got two cars. Let's call one car the masculine and one the feminine, right? You cannot have the two cars try to go into the tunnel at once. They're going to crash into each other. And that's what happens in a relationship. They're just constantly crashing. I want to go in the tunnel first. No, let me go first. Let me go first. But when you have an understanding of gender rules, or when you have an understanding of what we're naturally built as, you'll let the car go first, and then the other car will follow. So then you guys can go through the tunnel peacefully. And that's what the end goal is. The woman car is going to say, oh, man, you can go first. And I'm talking about in the retrospective in the relationship. So look at the relationship as the tunnel, and the woman saying, well, hey, man, you can go first, and I'm going to follow behind you. Because that's what we do when we drive. We're not trying to say, well, no, you got to let me go first. Like, obviously, in some situations when you're driving, it's whoever hits the intersection first goes first. But you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You're not just trying to all rush into the intersection. It's you lead and you follow. So I don't know why that's such a complicated thing for a lot of people to understand or give up, but it's ego at the end of the day. And it's like, as she said, men can tell when a woman is wounded and hasn't healed. Just like you guys can tell who's a weak man, as in the sense of when you look at him, he's not a good provider, or just like whatever. Like you guys can sniff out like who you guys want to date or who you want to lay with. That's your superpower. Your superpower is, damn, like that man is amazing. He's great. He's attractive to me. That's your superpower. You can sniff out the simps, like the weaker men. Us men, our superpower is we can sniff out the broken women. We can sniff out the women who haven't healed and the women that are not ready for love. So that's where the mistakes are on both ends. Us men are dating project girls. So what we're doing is we're dating women that are like fixer-uppers, that have been like cheated on multiple times or have all these things that they've never addressed. And we're coming in trying to play Clark Kent, and she doesn't need Clark Kent. She doesn't need you to be her Superman. She doesn't need you to do that. It's not your job to fix her. You want to, because as a man, you're a fixer, but you don't want to do that. It's not what you get into the relationship for. It's just like with a woman, she doesn't want to date a weaker man and build him into a man. That's exhausting for her.
Absolutely. It's so true, right? You and when, like, I know when I've done that and not even realized I'm doing that, it doesn't work out, because I don't need to tell a man to be a man. I want to
build him up in that way. We're not saying build him up. Like, how do I put it? It's not that you don't want to build him up, but what I mean is build him up in the sense of, like, let's say you're supportive. That's different.
Yeah, supporting is one thing, because that's mental and emotional support.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. So people are like, what do you mean you're not supposed to support? Like, no.
No, you're supposed to support mentally, emotionally, but it's aligning with what he's doing and what he wants, and not going against that. And I think if you're going to be in any relationship, you've got to align yourselves both with where you're going, because otherwise you're at lockerheads, because one wants one thing and one wants the other. And we say this often on these podcasts, just align with it. And if you don't like somebody, you don't like how they are, then don't be with them. Stop trying to change them. We've said before.
You know what? And that's what I love. And that's what I love about you. If you don't like what's on the menu, eat at a different restaurant.
Absolutely.
Stop complaining and stop trying to say, hey, I want you to change what's on the restaurant to accommodate me. No,
Yes,
if you don't like what's on the menu, eat somewhere else. If this
absolutely.
person has told you this is what they're about, this is how they move, it's either you're going to like it or you're not.
Yeah,
Because the last thing
exactly.
we want is to date somebody, and I'll use the restaurant analogy. They're there, they've chosen this restaurant, so the man or the woman, and then they certain qualities start to come out on the menu, right? Maybe anger, maybe this, maybe, whatever starts to come out on the menu, maybe wounds, maybe hurt, whatever. You put the menu down and you say, this is not what I ordered. I don't like
Mm,
this restaurant. Well, you're choosing to eat here. You
hmm.
saw the signs. You should take your time. You should get to know who you're dealing with. You see the signs. Don't complain about what's on the menu. Just say, this is not for me. Move
Done.
on to another restaurant.
Hmm.
I'm not advocating playing with people's hearts. What I'm trying to say is when you see certain tendencies, address them, but stop trying to change people fully. This is not build a person. Like we've all heard of build a bear. This is not build a person.
And also, when it comes down to it, when you've got a relationship, as we're saying, like the man is, it's so much nicer to have, for me as a female, I'm going to speak from a female perspective, for my man to lead, for me, is everything. Because I want, that's for me is the best thing, because I can look up to my man in that sense. I can,
That kingship.
yeah, it's like, you know what you see in the movies, that little no, like flicker of the
Yeah.
eyelids type of thing. But that's how, in a sense, he is like your hero, but not as I'm going to go and fly off a building, but in a sense of like you feel secure, you feel good, you feel like you can trust his leadership, what he says. You can resonate with and you like it and you like to move forward in that direction. Now, if he was to keep on looking at me for direction and looking at me to go and build a castle in that sense, or make things happen continuously, to me, that's like you're putting pressure, and that's not my forte. It's not who I've been wired to be. Doesn't mean I can't be successful in what I do, but to have a man look at me and me take the role of the male and take on the male energy is now me not
I'll,
being a woman.
I'll
So
give you a beautiful example. It's like you get on the ship and the captain tells you where are we going. It's like, but you're
yeah,
captain of the ship. You're supposed to
yeah,
tell me where we're going.
yeah. And I think that's the way it should, the way it works. Not that it should be, but it's the way it works, and has a very successful relationship with male and female. Because if you allow the man to take the lead and be the captain of the ship, and then you participate within that ship, you can go and get certain
Yo,
bits that you've asked for or whatever, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've talked to a lot of women and they've started to learn to let the man lead. And actually when they've let the man lead in the relationship, they said the relationship was a lot more fluent. One of my girlfriends said there was a there was a there was a guy she dealt with, or guys, not multiple guys, but just throughout her
Yeah.
dating career. They didn't have a car. They drove, but they didn't have a car. She let them drive her car. She let them drive her car and drive around and take them on dates. Obviously, he opened the car door. He did all those things. But what I'm saying is, by her letting him do that, or not even let, but like pretty much saying,
Allowing that
hey,
flow.
take the lead, allowing, yeah, exactly, allowing it to happen, the relationship was a lot more fruitful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. It was a lot more fruitful. It was a lot more effective.
Yeah, but as long as, again, because I've had that, but I've allowed that before, as in like just allowed that because I'm like, well, you're the guy, you drive, um, and I like to be a driver. I'm a big time driver. I love driving. How so for me to allow somebody else to drive my car and me to sit in the passenger seat is a big thing for me because I love being behind the wheel. But anyway, besides the point, as long as there's a balance again, because if like I'm speaking of my own experience where that's happened, but then he's also been in my life way too much and not done his own thing, so then it becomes unbalanced, and he's not taking the lead in his own life. He's trying to do, so you've got to be kind of balanced and careful in how much he's doing that's yours, that you've built up to. So he needs to go and do his own thing. He needs to be able to provide in other ways if he's not driving his own car, right? As far as I'm
you see
concerned.
how there was power there because you let him drive your car. So there were still, like, that was you still surrendering.
Yeah, absolutely. It's me surrendering to the situation.
Which was a good thing, because then it allowed him to kind of be
step
the man.
up or not. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And it's like,
which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you.
No, it really is, because it shows that there's a form of surrendering. Like, I chose you, you're the man I want to lead me. There's a form of surrendering. There's a form of trust in there. So guys, again, we're going to finish this video, and if you want to watch the full video, link is down below, and we'll play the rest of her points.
Pair up with someone. So just keep in mind that in order to let a man lead the relationship, you need to be ready to be led. And in order to be ready to be led, you need to be vulnerable. And that means that you need to accept the risk that comes with falling in love. Many times after a heartbreak or after a challenging experience, we become so closed off to love. I can list out so many women that I personally know that are not even open to date, or that just identify all men as being a certain way. And these women are not really going to have any success finding a man who's ready to lead, because they are not ready to be led. Also, if you are confused as to what you even want, or if you're the type of woman who thinks that someone is love bombing you, or that someone is too good to be true, or that someone is doing the most, these are all signs that you are not ready yourself, goddess. So take some time on you, because there are men out there who are going to be doing the most, who things might seem too good to be true. And it's because sometimes we've been so hurt and so wounded before that we really don't think that we are worthy of love. So we end up pushing away all the good guys that are actually beneficial for us, that are actually going to be good to our hearts and treat us right. Don't be the woman that's pushing away good guys because you want the bad boy, or you want a challenge, or you want something that you need to work for. None of these things are involved in being a feminine woman. If you are a true feminine woman, you aren't going to be looking for a chase. You aren't going to be looking for someone that is a bad boy or that doesn't treat you right. You are going to actually be looking for the right things. So let's talk about some examples of letting a man lead. The first thing, let him ask you out on his own terms. Do not push it. Do not be the one to initiate it. Do not ask him if he would like to go out. Let him do it when he's ready. And if he's not, then that's fine, okay? It's not a problem with you, it's a problem with him. Second thing is to be timely, accountable, and reliable. If you are someone who is flaky, or you are literally an hour and a half late to your dinner reservations, these are all signs that you are not ready to let a man lead you, that you are not ready to, be someone that's responsible and be someone that he can count on. 3, stop playing hard to get. If you are playing hard to get, then you are clearly not ready to meet a man that is ready to take leadership. Number 4, put in.
Go. I want to hear what you have to say. Because again, I'm gonna go on a tangent, so I definitely want to hear what you have to say.
Well, she just said number 4. Just remind me what she just said just there, because that's just gone.
Playing hard to get.
Playing hard to get. Yeah, playing hard to get. It's like, what is that? At the end of the day, if there's somebody, I'm going to start here, actually. Let me start here.
Go.
If it was a bad boy, yeah, you'd fall into his lap. But when it's a good guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Chad.
Yeah, fall into his lap. And then you get treated like right? But if
Yeah.
it's a good guy, you pull back and you think, oh, let me play a game, and you don't respond straight away. And but why? But why? Why? Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, there's only so much he's going to take, and you're just playing with somebody for no apparent reason. There's no reason behind it. We've got an echo going on.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll let you speak, and hopefully this goes.
I'm gonna say something that I know that you guys will be able to understand across the board. When she plays hard to get, have you guys ever played Super Mario? Any of you on
Yes, I
Super
have.
Nintendo, whatever? What she's making you do is she's making you go through the level, jump through the mushrooms, jump through the cliff, go through the fire, jump through the hoops, do all these things, avoid the turtle shells, do all of it to get to the end of the castle. Once you've exhausted all your resources, you fought in the dragon, you fought in Bowser, and you've gotten to the end, and you're like, whew, I finally got to the princess. And then you find out that she's like wounded. You find out that she's mean. You find out that she's crude. You find out that, that she's not the nicest person. And you're like, yo, I just jumped through this whole level. I fought a dragon. I fought 10 knights. I jumped turtle shell. I did all this for what?
Tell me.
And that's what I'm saying. We're not telling women to be easy. We're trying to say, if you like a guy, don't make it difficult, because I've always said this: if someone likes you, they don't make it difficult for you to get close to them.
Yeah, and like she said, also there's an ease behind it. You don't have to fight for these things. Why have we got an echo?
You don't make it difficult. That's the thing. You make it very easy for them to get close to you.
Yes, and you're open to receiving that love, and you're open to being led, as she said. And when you're open, things will just work so much easier. It clicks into place like a puzzle, right?
It's not forced. Yeah, like it's not forced.
Yeah.
So we'll continue her thoughts, and hopefully you guys took something away from that.
Effort and emotionally invest. So just because I say that a man should initiate the date, that a man should be the one that's initiating things and taking charge, that does not mean that you are not invested in him. You should be giving him a phone call, sending him a sweet message, having him as a part of your life. You should be also emotionally invested in him in order to get an outcome for yourself. Number 5 is to create a friendship with him. Nowadays, a lot of women want to jump the gun and become intimate with someone before they even know them. Now, as a man, you are not going to be classifying that woman as a lady, as someone that you want to take home to meet your parents, right? So be different. Be a woman who actually wants to create a friendship with someone. Ask them deeper questions that are not just surface level, and do it out of a curious interest for them. Don't be on your phone while you're on a date with them, right? Give them your undivided attention. All of these things are going to show him that you are ready to be in a partnership, that you are ready to be led by a masculine man. Now, some examples of actions that you can take.
I want to touch on something she said. I've been that guy where I've rushed the bedroom fun. I'm not gonna lie, I've made that mistake. And I've made that mistake as in the sense of that's what I was always used to. I haven't been on many dates. I've been on dates, but most of my relationships started intimately, and then we would date, and then we would go on dates.
And hence why they're not there today, Michael. That's right?
Yeah, but as a man, I can openly admit that that's happened.
And it doesn't work out because there's no friendship.
It doesn't exactly, because then you end up finding out that they're not really for you, but then you just kind of enjoy what they give, like body wise. I've made that mistake.
Yeah, and I think it's if you build a friendship with somebody, there's a platform to bounce from. You've got this solid foundation to build on, because you already have those conversations. You're already connected. You're already in those deep conversations and finding things out about one another. And then the body can come later. And, I think it doesn't have to be like long down the line or anything, but actually having a foundation like that is going to make a huge difference, because you're going to learn respect first. You start to respect one another first through a friendship, and then it blossoms into something great. But as long as that's your intention, again, like if you like the person and you want to build on something, I think a friendship is a brilliant place to start, because I've done the same.
They need to be able to be both. They need to be able to be your lover and your friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
More lover than friend, because if they're too much of your friend,
Yeah, it's
you're not
friend zone.
yeah, exactly, because you're not attracted to your friend, right? So
No,
then you'll start to lean to the left, but you should be able to talk to them about anything and everything. You should be able to.
absolutely.
So that was a key point that she brought up there.
Take to show that you're a feminine woman are little gentle caresses, whether that is holding his hand or kissing his cheek or doing something sweet for him, like offering him a neck rub or sending him a sweet message. Show desire in small and subtle ways, whether that is leaving him a cute unexpected voice recording of yourself or sending him a picture of something that reminded you of him. Some examples of messages that you can send him that show interest without becoming overbearing are something along the lines of, "How is your day, handsome?" After a date, you could send him, "Thank you for everything tonight. I'm looking forward to next time." So all of these messages show that you're interested without you actually taking the lead and taking charge, right? It's keeping the door open for him so that he knows he can lead, he can initiate, and he can plan the next date. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, make sure to subscribe before you head out if you haven't already, and I will see you all very
Yes, guys. So go subscribe to her channel. The link will be sent down below.
I love what she said. I just love what she just said. Those
Shoot.
small like gestures, and like just having that subtleness without being overbearing. I think that's really,
Well, that's the thing. Men need love too, and I'm not
yeah.
shitting on women here, but they're always willing to list off their list of requirements. I want you to open the car door. I want you to bring me flowers. I want you to take me here. I want you to be like this. I want you to be like this. But as soon as a man has some requirements, it's no, 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 I'm sorry,
Yeah,
because
but I
that's the
think
thing.
those. Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
on. No,
No,
go
ladies.
on. I was going to say the subtleness of what she's speaking about. It's not, you know, you're actually really connecting with your guy by doing that, by just sending those small little messages or those voice notes or saying, I'll give you a neck rub. And I think those things are just showing compassion and love and attention in the right way. Because you can put your attention on your man, but in the wrong way, in the way that you're just like trying to dictate, or you're trying to say what you should and shouldn't do, or I want you to do this, or I want you to do that. And I think that's the negative part of it. But actually, if you're just being, you're there, you're as in you are sending these little messages, you are keeping in touch throughout the day, but not in an overbearing way. I think there becomes like a more of a pull towards one another, to want to see one another, because there's been nice vibes being transmuted between the two of you, if that makes sense, throughout the day.
You got to show up too. That's the thing. Like,
Yes.
you can't expect a man to take you on all these dates, drive you around, be on his game all the time, like be this perfect man, without you showing up in some shape, way, or form as well. As she said, either neck rubs or sweet text messages, and showing up for that guy.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
That's what's important, because you can't just say, well, I want you to be everything, and then I'll figure out when I want to give you stuff. It's like, no, look, a relationship is a double-edged sword. As I said, if you don't like what's on the menu, you don't need that.
Yeah. And I think, allowing a man to lead is one of the most powerful things you can do. And it's not you going, oh, I'm giving all my power away to you and just letting you just be me, or let me. No, it's actually that balance, is that it's allowing that masculine energy to be predominant within the relationship, as in a really positive way, and you know the difference. You
Well,
know
the
if
feminine
somebody,
likes to surrender.
yes, and it's nice to surrender as a feminine, as a woman, you know, that because you've got that feminine energy of that calmness, of that just chilled and allowing things to just happen within a relationship in a nice, in a profound way, not in a negative way again. Like, you, the difference between a man being controlling over you to a man being a leader is two completely different things. It feels different, and we go by emotions, so you'll feel the difference, and you know the difference within you. You know if somebody's been like pointing fingers and shouting and being extreme, telling you what to do, is different to your man saying, darling, I've booked us a table tonight, you know, I'm picking you up at 8 o'clock. Like, there's you can hear the difference, the tone difference within it, right?
Well, I'm gonna say this: the masculine is surrendering to self, and the feminine is surrendering to self. And
Both.
the reason why I'm saying this is because when you date someone and like you love them and they love you, or you're in that space, it's more of you like who you are with that person, and
Yes.
that's either going to be negative or positive. But that's
Yes.
the thing, like if you like who you are with that person, as in a sense of they just bring things out of you that that are for the
Feels good.
better instead of the
Yes.
worse, you know what I
Yes.
mean? So I always like to say is I like what we have, and it's like, and you, because you know how you are with that individual. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I would say. You like who you are because you know that they're always going to support you, you know they're always going to understand you, you know they're never going to withhold anything from you. That's what I mean. So it's just a form of fully surrendering to oneself.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that, and I think you said that in a very profound way. It's very, it just, you know, that is the basis of everything: surrendering to self and being at peace with self and being able to show up. And like you said, if you're in that feminine and masculine energy and you're balancing out yin and yang together, then um, it becomes ease and flow, and it becomes a thing where you help each other be the better version of one another, because you're supporting each other mentally and emotionally. Your wording towards one another is of upliftment, it's of inspiration, it's of wanting to show up at the best version of you. And if you're with a person that's bringing out the worst in you, you can look. I'm sure you've experienced
Yeah.
this as well, where you've been in a relationship and they bring out the worst part of you. You're just like, I didn't even know I could be like this. I didn't even know, like, what part of this
Yeah, you
is
didn't know
this?
that that part of you existed.
I didn't know it existed, Michael. Like, I had no idea. And there's and I've heard like, had one said, someone say to me, "Oh, I knew you was like this. I knew this was like the horrible side of you." And it's like, well, you might. How would you know if I didn't even know it existed in me? You just seem to be finding ways to be able to bring out this really negative version of me, and I'm not even recognizing who this person is. You know. So I think, and then I've had the other side where they've brought out the best in me, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know I was capable of even thinking this way, of doing these things. I didn't know that that was in me, to be able to tap into that positive and good energy side with somebody. So I've had the two sides of it, and it's such a huge difference, and you can recognize that in yourself to say, well, if that's what they're bringing out of you, and you're actually falling into that, and that's what's happening, is the wrong person for you, because your lover, your spouse, your partner is supposed to bring out the best in you, not find that worst part that you didn't even know existed in you. Do you know what I mean?
True. Well, can I tell you guys a secret before you go and before Anthea goes? If you are having a hard time surrendering to self, what makes it think that you're going to have an easier time surrendering to someone else?
Oh, good question, Michael. Very good. Boom,
That's
there.
something for
Just
you
ask
guys to think
yourself.
about. If you can't surrender to self, how can you surrender to someone else? You can't.
You can't. You can't. It all down to yourself. Everything comes back down, and it's a really good question to ask yourself. It's a top question to ask, you know,
Yeah.
and to
Well,
be
it's
able to
just
put
something for
that.
you guys to think about and consider because, as I said, it's like everybody, and we're going to talk about it this week. Everybody wants love, but they don't want the responsibility of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't surrender to yourself and love yourself in ways that, are deep and genuine, how are you going to expect someone else to do that? You cannot. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. And if you don't understand why, then do a bit of research to understand the difference with surrendering to yourself and building a
Exactly.
relationship.
And what
Yeah,
that looks like,
what it looks
and
like.
how to, and surrendering just means forgiving yourself, letting things go, and giving yourself that love that you deserve.
Yeah.
That is surrendering. Being able to have acceptance,
Yeah. In yourself, the
being
way
able
you
to,
are.
exactly, in yourself with everything, being able to let go of things of the past,
Yes.
and
Forgive
and
yourself
and
for those experiences as well, to say, you know, okay, they've
exactly.
happened, but what have I learned from it? Because nothing is a mistake, is it? Everything is an
No.
experience. Like you
Well,
might,
being able to love in the present instead of the past,
right.
I think, is the biggest one.
Mm.
Because a lot of times we're thinking about the love that we used to have instead of loving in the present.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people refer back to things. Oh, you know, I wish I
Yeah.
had this, I wish I had that. But actually, you're here now.
Yeah, you're
And like,
here now.
yeah, and if you can implement that love from now into you, then you can move forward into that space and let go of things that have happened or experiences, because you might have experienced it and it might not have been your fault, but it's your responsibility. It's definitely
Mhm.
your responsibility to deal with you and come to an acceptance of what's happened in your past and what you have experienced. And you can't, you know, taking that forward into a new relationship is never going to work, because you're not showing up, you're bringing baggage with you that is, and I'm saying mental and emotional baggage, that is
Mhm.
unnecessary to start a relationship off on the right foot. You're going to
Well,
start
you're
off on
not
the
giving
wrong
that
foot.
person your best either, because
No.
of the fact that you're not in the present day love. You're thinking about things in the past or whatever. You're
Yeah.
not in present day love. So
Yeah.
the person's not even getting the best version of you because your mind is somewhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
guys, hopefully you took something away from this podcast. As I said, look, guys, you can either take it or leave it with what we give. We're only here to, as I said, add value to the space. If this works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, fine. You don't listen to us, unsubscribe, whatever. But at the end of the day, the point is just to give a fresher perspective and to be better
At
dating
dating.
partners or better selection, like
Mm.
for yourself or someone else, better mate selection. So, with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys on Tuesday and
Wednesday.
not Wednesday. Sorry, my mind's like a million places, but we'll see you guys on Wednesday. And thank you for tuning into the stream.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.